Midlife crisis. The feeling that's supposed to sink in after your hair starts to turn gray and your knees start to ache when you try to bend down. Well, these days it seems like recent generations, like Millennials and Gen Z, are facing this injustice far too soon thanks to our struggling economy and the lack of hope for the future. Now let's dive deep into why folks feel this way and how they got there. If you personally relate to anything in this video or you just simply like content like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because I do daily uploads around here. Now let's get into it, shall we?
I'm currently having a legitimate panic attack to where I feel like I'm gonna break down any second. So, if you don't know, I'm a teacher, and I just feel like a lot of us in our 20s can relate on the fact that we can't afford life, and it hits me in spurts on like, oh God, I'm struggling, and it's so hard. And it's so hard to put into words because, yes, like, I guess I can afford rent and all that stuff, but I have to literally hustle every single day and do like multiple jobs and multiple things just to be able to buy groceries. But I'm a teacher, and it really weighs on my mental health because then I'm so busy, and I never get a free moment to myself, and I'm literally freaking out in my car right now, and I feel like I can't catch a break with like finances, and it's like literally weighing on me so heavy right now that I want to like throw up. I have to go grocery shopping right now, and like I can't even afford like the chicken I'm gonna buy, and like I'm gonna pay my credit card, and it's too much, and I don't buy anything for myself really, and now I'm just really feeling heavy.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Everybody's freaking out about the eggs and how they're going up in price. We really got to be worried about the chicken. Like the last few years, it's been ridiculous. But to be totally honest, I want to just kind of clarify what this lady right here was talking about. She is a school teacher, and she can barely. She said she can afford her rent, which is better than a lot of people these days. But she can't afford groceries. She's just going to the grocery store is like gets people in a sweat. Gets people just wanting to throw up, as she said. So it's not looking too good. Now, that's someone who seems to have her head on straight. Now she said she's in her 20s, which it was always crazy to me how now that I'm currently 25, that like when I was in school, a lot of my teachers that were young were my age right now, and I don't really know what I'm doing too much, but I actually had a lot of like older teachers, but it is what it is. So she seems like she has debt probably from reasons that make sense. Let's listen to someone who doesn't have debt for the best of reasons. Same
How
age
much do you
range,
have in
by the way.
savings?
I'm 21 and I'm actually in a lot of debt because I just went traveling.
Did you spend all your money in travels, or was it other things as well?
Travel, buying a car, all different things. Okay. Yeah.
And have you ever wanted to save up for something in particular?
Yes. Yeah. Buying a house on the northern beaches.
Do you think it's within reach?
Not so much at the moment, but I'm trusting God in my finances. So.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And so, what do you think you're going to have to do to have to save up for that?
Probably invest. Hey, probably invest my money. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're in the same spot as other people your age?
Yeah, I would say. If not, even though I'm in debt, probably a better spot because everyone's getting the massive HECS debts at uni. So.
All right, so it's kind of hard to get any sort of investments when you are chasing and riding against the not just inflation but the crazy credit card interest. I assume most of her debt is in credit cards, being that she said she got it or she spent it on traveling and luxury goods and enjoying her early 20s. Well, I hope she truly enjoyed her early adult years because she will be spending the next decade paying off what she just enjoyed. And I don't really understand people's mindset or logic around this. I mean, to each their own. Like, enjoy your life. I guess you only live once, but to what cost? Because the average life expectancy these days is what, like 73 in the U.S. So a lot of people think that they're not going to live to see 30. Like, why wouldn't you think that? A lot of people do live to see past 30. So you're going to have to face the consequences of your actions that you do right now, which the majority of them are going to cost money. And that will leave you in debt, like this woman right here who does not know what she has coming to her.
Woman says she's exhausted by the fact that she can't afford rent even though she's cut back on eating.
There's a woman on TikTok who is going viral right now because her rent went from $1,300 to $1,800.
$1,300 to $1,800. That's like a 25-30% jump. If that happened to me, I'd be homeless.
Dollars a month with no warning. That is a significant amount of money for your rent to increase to the point where that would make or break somebody's ability to pay rent. Landlords and corporations are continuing to price gouge and not care about the well-being of their tenant or their customers or anybody because it's all about money at this point. I would recommend that this girl see if she can find a cheaper place, but with the increase of rent, is that possible? I have no idea. It is going to take a lot of work to get out of that situation. She's either going to have to get a second job if she doesn't already have one, or scrape up some funds to figure out if she can move to a cheaper place, get a bunch of roommates. I mean, none of it is ideal. $500 could prevent you from saving money monthly too, which is something that I come on here and preach about. Taking your savings, putting it into a high yield savings or a compound
We've
interest
talked about this
account.
over and over and over again, folks. Nobody has savings anymore. If you have the luxurious ability to save anything right now, you are in the small percentage. You are in the top minority of people that don't get to do that, that are able to do that, because the majority of people can't. They just don't, and they won't, even if they could, because they have other things to buy. You know, there's always something to fix. There's always something to get new, and there's always something to keep up with the Joneses with. So it's almost impossible in this modern day and age. If you want to be normal, you're not going to really have much left over, and you're going to be actually behind most of the time at the end of every week, at behind of every month. And don't even get me started on the end of the year, because taxes are coming soon, guys, and it's going to be rough for a lot of folks. But yeah, it's just kind of wild thinking about how, even this woman right here said, which I always say, people are going to start shacking up. They're going to start, being in one person, or sorry, in multiple people houses. They're going to have roommates. They're going to stay back with family. They're going to be inheriting a lot more homes, because we're not going to be able to keep up with these price gouges. And the video I made just earlier today, or yesterday, depending on when this video comes out, the majority of the people who own these big businesses are these big businesses, but as well as all these big housing markets, is people who are wealthy, and the majority of them are already they're older. Let's just keep it nice. Let's sugarcoat it. They're in the older generations, and so it's not really looking too good for some of the new folks. They're just now on the market. Also, with the life expectancy going up, these folks are staying around longer. So it's just a weird market right now that we're in. It hasn't really been seen before.
Watching your money grow. How are we supposed to do that when it's $500 increasing in rent? Like, that's insane. I would love for people to just stop being selfish and let people live their life.
I'm in debt. A lot of debt. I have multiple credit cards, a car loan, a personal loan for a surgery that I had, and yeah, I'm stressed out about it and frustrated, and I thought, I'm gonna make this TikTok channel to hold myself accountable. So I'm determined to get out of debt in a year. $100,000 in a year. I made a pretty good income last year. I'm in sales, so there's no telling what my income will be.
She's selling
year.
honey feet pics? That's crazy. She must be making what, like 250, 300 then, if she thinks she can pay off 100K of debt in 1 year. I'm curious what she's selling.
But I think I'm just gonna come on here like every day and say something I did that day to get myself out of this hole that I dug for myself. If anybody sees it, cool. If nobody ever sees it, that's okay too. It's for me to remind myself that I'm a fucking badass and I can do it. And quit being a little bitch about it. So, here you go. Day 1.
Hey, rock on, sis, and I hope you pull through with that. That's a pretty common occurrence, people being in debt. Now, $100,000, $100,000, 100K, that's getting up there. I don't know if I could ever even sleep at night if I had that much debt. I can't imagine what that interest is accruing. But she said some of it's medical debt, which I do feel bad for people who have that being the cause in the case, because that's kind of uncontrollable in a lot of different circumstances. But it's just not looking too good. And, I'm glad she has somewhat of a plan, and she was able to admit that she's the one that dug herself into this hole, so she has to find her way out of it. Now, let's go to some younger folks who see how they're feeling.
Can we normalize telling each other what our savings accounts are? Because I really want to know. I feel like I see people saying like they have no savings. I feel like I see people having insane savings. And I just don't know what the normal is. And I know you can't compare because you have different lives, but I want to know. I really do. So between the age of 20 to 35, I would really like to know what like the average is for people, because life is expensive. But I just came back from Australia. I live in Australia. People live with their parents after they graduate high school, in college, and then even like later. Like I know someone who still lives with their parents at 26, no shade at all, but they've lived with their parents the whole time. They have over like $60,000 in savings. What?
Okay, that is insane to think about that. Imagine what we could pull off if we actually adopted that foreign policy where you don't move out of your parents' house as soon as you turn 18. You live with your parents for the first decade or even 2 decades, so you're even 35 possibly. You have like 60 to 100K saved instead of in debt. That's crazy. That could happen. It's possible. But is it going to happen? No, probably not. Because we got stereotypes and we have different people to impress and reasons why it's not going to happen. So it is kind of unfortunate for a lot of, millennials and Gen Z going through this modern day midlife crisis. I think it's like a quarter life crisis if you're my age. I'm only 25, but it is what it is. It's not looking hot, but I think we can always have a positive attitude. I mean, we can be broke while doing it, but hey, at least our spirits are high. Anyways, I do definitely appreciate your guys' love and support around here. Actually, all your guys' love and support has gotten this channel very, very far, and I plan to continue doing these daily uploads, if not multiple times weekly. So, yeah, if you relate to anything in this video, or if you just like content like this, feel free to comment your thoughts, opinions, and like and subscribe to keep seeing more and boost the page as far as it can go. So, appreciate you guys watching. I will see you in the next one.